Hi YouTube, I got a hole here in the car that I'm going to patch up. I'm going to use a little Bondo. It's an old car, 15 years old, so I don't care if it's not perfect. Just to give you a general idea. When you work on this stuff, it's nice to have some type of rug to lay on. Knee pads are definitely a good idea. And then some of the tools here. Bondo and this red stuff. Primer. Paint to match your car. You can order this at any auto parts store. That's how they match your color. Some type of sander. I just use a drill and these real heavy duty sander pads here. I think they're like $5 for 3 of them. You have to use this rubber thing in order to use these pads. You could probably make one of these out of a nut and bolt and maybe a piece of wood or a hard piece of plastic. I think next time that's what I'm gonna do. These things break, so I think if you just use a nut and bolt, it would probably be stronger. Some type of scraper. The screwdrivers for this thing, and to open up the can, and sandpaper, and then you need some cardboard to mix this stuff on. And then I always wear gloves too, because this stuff is really messy. Now, before we get started with that, you can see here this paint here. It's got this code here, TS. On your car, there's this code here, and one of these is the paint code. So if you just go to a parts store, they can look at that and tell you exactly which paint to order. There's an interior and exterior. You can see right here it says TS. I think it is exterior paint TS. Okay, but it's best just to ask the fellas at the store. They know what they're looking at and how to order it. Okay, and since this hole is big, you know, small holes you can just slap some Bondo, but that hole's too big. So what you do is you use some type of screen. You put a screen in there. So I use this kind of screen because it's galvanized, but you can use any type of window screen. I like to use this galvanized stuff because it slows down the rust. Okay, so first step, I've got this sanded down already. Just go at it with the sander and get as much as you can off. I don't worry about getting all of it. It's just gonna rust again, so it's almost impossible to get inside these cracks. So let's see here. First step is I'm done sanding, so now I gotta cut the screen here. Okay, I cut a piece of screen here. Just kind of guessed at the size. I just use a pair of these. You can just use a heavy duty pair of scissors to cut this stuff. And then the tricky part is getting that screen inside there. And it doesn't have to be perfect, it's just got to hold enough Bondo to help get you going. So just to show you what I'm doing here. So this hole is big enough, this screen is going in pretty easy. It doesn't always go in that easy. And then use a screwdriver to move it around. If you can, try to wedge it in something so it doesn't move, but that's rare. So you just stick a little Bondo on there and let it harden up, and then it stays in place. Okay, so this stuff goes for about 20 bucks a gallon. I think they're smaller containers, but you might as well buy a gallon. It lasts. This one's been in the basement for a couple years, so it's still good. So it's just gray stuff. It's like gray putty. Okay. Just take some out. I just guess at this here. Okay, we're just gonna mix a little up here to hold the screen down. It hardens up pretty quick, so don't mix up a lot. And this stays soft until you put the red stuff in. As soon as you put the red stuff in, then you only got maybe 5 minutes at the most, 5 or 10 minutes. And then I just kind of guess at this stuff here. Okay, so that's all you really need, and then you just mix it up. You don't have to mix it good, just kind of spread it around for 30 seconds or so. That usually does the job. The more red stuff you put in, faster it's going to get hard. You don't need a lot at all. I don't know if that was enough. I'm going to put just a little more in here. Okay then, screwdriver, Bondo. Let's see if we can get this camera set up here. Hold the screen down and then just kind of stick some in there. Doesn't have to be pretty because you're going to sand it down later. Okay, so once that hardens up, then mix up some more, and then you could just kind of spread it out on there. You don't have to worry about the screen moving around. That's pretty rusty. Bottom side doesn't have to be perfect. No one can see it. Lots of times I don't even sand it. Bottom side. So. Okay. You just sand it down a little bit on the bottom just to smooth it out some, but I don't get carried away with it. Okay, we'll let that get hard. I've got another small hole here. And see, that's small enough where I don't need screen. So I'm just gonna mix up some Bondo and stick it up on there. Put the cardboard underneath your hole so when it drips, it doesn't just fall on the ground, it falls back on the cardboard. Try and push it inside the holes so it's got something to anchor to. Sometimes you gotta do it 2-3 times to get it kind of smooth. I put too much red stuff in this here, it's getting hard pretty quick. Scrape off as much as you can because then you don't have to do as much sanding. Yeah, that got hard in like a minute. So. turns out pink, it's going to get hard fast, right? Pink. I'm no expert at this. Put Bondo on places that you just sanded, and even if there's no hole, that slows down the rust. I usually do this once every year, once every couple years, just to keep up on it. I live in an area where there's a lot of snow and they use a lot of salt. The cars get beat up by the salt pretty bad. Okay. Now we'll come back to the first hole here.